You are not just human. Your body is human. Your body is something you possess. But you, the real you, are not your body. You are something much greater. You are a soul. You don't have a soul. You are the soul itself, currently living in human form. Let me cut through the illusions. You think you're just a human, but that's only the surface of reality. When you say I, what are you really pointing to? Your flesh and bones. Your thoughts. Your emotions. No, you're pointing to something deeper, something timeless and ageless. You're pointing to your awareness, your consciousness, your true being. You are the soul. Now, let's continue with this understanding. Pay close attention because this is a very sensitive topic, and I don't want the nuance to be missed. You don't say, I am the body. You say, my body. You don't say, I am hand. You say, my hand. Your body is just that, yours. It's not the real you. And because you're living in a human body, that doesn't mean you yourself are just a human. Take a deep breath. Listen. Ancient wisdom from Kemet or Egypt holds some of the earliest teachings about the true nature of the soul. The Emerald Tablets of Tahuti, known to be over 36,000 years old, hold profound truths. Tahuti says, "Man, you think you live, but know that it is life within death, for as surely as you are bound to your body, so you know life exists." Your physical form, which you've been taught to identify with, is actually a limited expression of your true self. Let this idea settle in your mind for a moment. The body, which we've been conditioned to believe is us, is simply a temporary vessel. You are far more than that. You are not your body. In another part of the tablets, Tahuti says, only the soul is space-free, has life that is truly life. All else is bondage, a chain from which to be freed. In Hindu philosophy, this greater self is called Atman, the individual soul, the eternal unchanging essence. The Upanishads state, Tat Pham Asi, you are that. You are not separate from the universal consciousness. You are part of it, and it is part of you. But how can you be something beyond your body, beyond your thoughts and emotions? The answer lies in understanding the nature of consciousness. Vedantic philosophy describes 4 states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and turiya. The first 3 are well known to us all, but the 4th, turiya, holds the key to understanding our true nature. Turiya is pure awareness, the state beyond thoughts and perceptions. It's like the canvas upon which all experiences are painted. Think about when you're dreaming. In that moment, the dream feels completely real. It has its own rules and logic, and you're totally absorbed in it. But when you wake up, you realize it was all just a projection of your mind. Now consider this. What if this waking state is just another dream? What if you, as pure consciousness, are the dreamer of both states? This isn't just abstract philosophy. It's a practical understanding that can change the way you see your entire life. When you realize that you, the soul, are not your body, not your thoughts, and not your emotions, but the awareness behind them, you open the door to true freedom. And this potential, when fully realized, can allow you to transcend your physical form. Imagine existing consciously as a boundless spirit, freed from the limitations of the physical world. Imagine being able to leave your body behind, breathe, and feel the possibility of that freedom. The Tibetan Book of the Dead talks about the Bardo state, a state of consciousness that exists without a physical form. In this state, the soul encounters various beings, some peaceful and some frightening. The enlightened soul, however, sees through the illusions and achieves liberation. This is who you are. Right now, you're experiencing life in a human body, but it's not the entirety of who you are. You are the soul, the awareness, the consciousness behind all of it. Christ and Buddha weren't meant to be worshipped. They were meant to show us what's possible for each of us. Their lives were roadmaps, showing us that the divine is not something out there, but something within. So the question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you going to go back to believing the comfortable lie that spirituality is only for the chosen few? Or will you take this chance to awaken, to reclaim your birthright as a divine being? Christ and Buddha are not just historical figures, they are examples, reflections of our own divine potential. It's time to stop worshiping and start becoming. You have the Buddha nature within you. You have the Christ consciousness within you. These aren't foreign concepts. They are the core of who you are, waiting to be awakened. Realizing this truth isn't easy. It's not something that comes from simply saying a prayer or chanting a mantra. While these practices can help guide us, the real work of enlightenment requires dedication, introspection, and the courage to face who we really are. Let me teach you about the evolution of the soul. If you're not just your body, if you're an immortal soul having a temporary human experience, what does that mean for your existence? It means that your current life is just one chapter in a journey that's timeless. Beyond space and time, reincarnation isn't about your body being reborn. It's about you, the soul, choosing, or sometimes being compelled, to take on different forms, to learn, grow, and evolve. Each lifetime is like a classroom, filled with lessons that bring wisdom. And most of that wisdom comes from the ordinary, everyday moments. Every experience holds a lesson for the soul, and it's your job to uncover the deeper meanings behind these lessons. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Think about that. Your body is like a garment that you wear for a time and then discard. You are not the body. You are so much more than that. Why would an immortal soul choose to limit itself in a physical form? The answer lies in the nature of spiritual evolution. Just like a muscle gets stronger with resistance, the soul grows in wisdom and spiritual strength through the challenges of physical life. This force within us, the drive for growth, is what Tahuti, also known as Thoth, described as the heart of the flame. The ancient Egyptians called it Ra, the Vedas named it Prana, and Taoists refer to it as Kai. It's all the same life force, and it connects directly to the universal spirit of creation. Haven't your greatest moments of growth come from your toughest challenges? Haven't your deepest insights come from your darkest times? This is the purpose of physical incarnation, to give us the friction we need for growth. The Emerald Tablets of Tahuti say, man is a star bound to a body, until in the end he is freed through his strife. Your struggles, your pain, your joy, they are all part of a grand process of spiritual evolution. In Tibetan Buddhism, they believe that highly evolved souls can choose the circumstances of their rebirth. These souls are known as tulkus. In other traditions, they are called bodhisattvas or netaru, enlightened beings who consciously incarnate to help others. Even if you're not at that level yet, you still make choices. In the Barda state, the space between lives, the soul looks back on past experiences and chooses the conditions for the next incarnation based on what it still needs to learn. This is why Tibetan monks practice phala, a preparation for the moment of death, and the choices that follow. It teaches them to recognize the true nature of reality, even in the face of death, and make conscious choices about their next life. You are on a timeless journey of soul evolution. This lifetime, with all its ups and downs, is just one chapter in a much bigger story. Now let's take this even further. The soul isn't a single, simple entity. It's complex and multidimensional, functioning on different levels of reality. The ancient Egyptians, or Kemetic people, had a deep understanding of this complexity. They didn't see the soul as a single thing, but rather as multiple aspects, each with its own purpose. The K is your ethereal double, or astral body. It's the sustaining power of life and consciousness, closely connected to your physical body, but capable of existing independently after death. The Ba, often depicted as a bird with a human head, represents another aspect of the soul, free to move between the physical and spiritual realms. Understanding the soul's journey helps us see that our existence is not limited to this physical experience. It's about growth, evolution, and the pursuit of truth. Every lifetime is a step forward. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow in soul force. The path isn't easy, and it's not supposed to be. The resistance is what makes us stronger. It's what pushes us to expand beyond what we once thought possible. So the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you choose to believe that spirituality is only for a select few, or will you open yourself to the possibility that you too have this divine potential? You can grow, to evolve, and to tap into the immense power that lies within you. Christ and Buddha are not just figures from history. They are examples of what is possible for each of us. They show us that the divine is not something separate or unreachable. It is inside each of us, waiting to be awakened. It's time to stop worshiping from afar and start becoming. You have the power, the soul force, to transcend and transform. Realizing this isn't easy. It doesn't happen by simply repeating a prayer or following rituals. These practices can be part of the journey, but real growth requires dedication, introspection, and the courage to see yourself for who you truly are. The journey of the soul is far more intricate than many of us have been led to believe. Let me share with you how the evolution of the soul works. If you are not just your body, if you are an immortal soul having a temporary human experience, what does that mean for your existence? It means that this current life is just one chapter in a timeless story. Beyond the limits of space and time, reincarnation isn't about your body being reborn. It's about you, the soul, choosing, or sometimes being compelled, to take on different forms, to learn, grow, and evolve. Each lifetime is like a classroom filled with opportunities to gain wisdom, and most of that wisdom comes from ordinary, everyday moments. Every experience is a lesson for the soul, and it's your job to uncover the deeper meaning behind each of those lessons. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Think about that. Your body is like a garment you wear for a time, and then let go of. You are not your body. You are much more than that. Why would an immortal soul choose to limit itself to a physical form? The answer lies in the nature of spiritual evolution. Just like a muscle gets stronger with resistance, the soul grows in wisdom and strength through the challenges of physical life. This force within us, the drive to grow, is what Tahuti, also known as Thoth, described as the heart of the flame. The ancient Egyptians called it Ra, the Vedas named it Prana, and Taoists refer to it as Kai. It's all the same life force, and it connects directly to the universal spirit of creation. Think about it. Haven't your greatest moments of growth come from the most challenging times? Haven't your deepest insights emerged from your darkest experiences? This is the purpose of physical incarnation, to provide the friction needed for growth. The Emerald Tablets of Tahuti say, man is a star bound to a body, until in the end he is freed through his strife. Your struggles, your pain, your joy, they are all part of a grand process of spiritual evolution. In Tibetan Buddhism, highly evolved souls are believed to have the power to choose the circumstances of their rebirth. These souls are known as tulkus. In other traditions, they are called bodhisattvas or netaru, enlightened beings who consciously incarnate to help others. Even if you're not at that level yet, you still make choices. In the bardo state, the space between lives, the soul looks back on past experiences and decides the conditions for its next incarnation based on what it still needs to learn. This is why Tibetan monks practice phawa, a preparation for the moment of death and the choices that follow. It teaches them to recognize the true nature of reality, even at the point of death, and make conscious decisions about their next life. You are on a timeless journey of soul evolution. This lifetime, with all its ups and downs, is just one chapter in a much bigger story. Now let's take this further. The soul isn't a simple, single entity. It's complex and multidimensional, functioning on different levels of existence. The ancient Egyptians, or Kemetic people, had a deep understanding of this complexity. They didn't see the soul as a single thing, but as multiple aspects, each with its own role. The K is your ethereal double, or astral body. It's the sustaining power of life and consciousness, closely tied to your physical body, but capable of existing independently after death. The Ba, often depicted as a bird with a human head, represents another aspect of the soul, free to move between the physical and spiritual realms. But it doesn't stop there. The Ak is the transformed, enlightened spirit. The Sahu is the spiritual body, and the Sekhem represents your life force or power. The Id or heart is the seat of conscience and emotion. This Kemetic wisdom isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a map of your multidimensional nature, revealing aspects of yourself that go far beyond just body and mind. Take a moment to breathe and think. The Aztecs believed in multiple souls too. They spoke of the divine fire, or Yolia, which survived death and journeyed to the afterlife. This concept of multiple soul aspects is found in cultures across the world, each with its own unique perspective on the complex nature of who we truly are. The Greek philosopher Plato spoke of the soul as having three parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. These weren't separate entities, but aspects of a unified whole, each with its own function in our lives. In Taoist thought, there's the concept of Hun and Po, the heavenly and earthly souls. Hun, linked to Yang energy, leaves the body after death, while Po, associated with Yin energy, stays with the body. The Norse also believed in multiple aspects of the soul, including the Haemingja, a guardian spirit, and the Filja, a personal spirit guide. All of these traditions point to the same truth. You, as a soul, are far more complex than you may realize. You are not just a single point of awareness. You are a rich, multidimensional being with aspects that operate on different levels of reality. Think about your dreams. In a dream, you can be both the observer and the participant, the creator and the created. This is a glimpse into your true, multifaceted nature. The Kabbalistic tradition speaks of different levels of the soul, with neshama being the highest level, directly connected to the divine. This is your truest self, always in communion with the universal consciousness. In Sufism, there is Ruh, the immortal spirit that exists before and after physical life. It is often described as a ray of divine light, a direct emanation from the source of all being. You are not just a body, not just a mind, not even just a single soul. You are a multidimensional being of light and consciousness, with aspects that span many levels of reality. How do you live from this understanding? How do you navigate the human experience while knowing that you are not merely human? First, recognize that your body is a tool, a vehicle for your expression in the physical world. Treat it with respect. Care for it, but do not confuse it for your true self. Your body is not you. It is yours. Get your possessive pronouns right. Your thoughts and emotions are not you either. They are experiences you are having. They are like weather patterns passing through the sky of your consciousness. Observe them, learn from them, but do not get caught up in them. Practice presence. Be here, now, fully in each moment. This is how you align with your true nature as pure awareness. Live with purpose. You chose to incarnate for a reason. Seek to understand that reason and align your actions with it. This is how you fulfill your soul's mission. Practice meditation and other spiritual techniques. These are tools for quieting the noise of the human experience and connecting to your true nature. You are a soul, an eternal being of light and consciousness, having a temporary human experience. Live from this truth and watch as your life becomes an expression of divine grace and power. Christ and Buddha are not just figures to admire. They are examples of what is possible for all of us. They showed us that the divine is not something separate, but something within each of us. It's time to stop worshiping from afar and start realizing your own divine potential. The power lies within you, waiting to be awakened. And now, let's talk about the aspects of the soul in a more detailed way. It's not just about personality traits or how we present ourselves. The Ak is the transformed, enlightened spirit, representing your most evolved form. The Sahu is your spiritual body, a higher level of being that transcends the physical. The Sekhem is your life force, the energy that flows within you and connects you to all creation. And then there's the Ib, your heart, the seat of your conscience and emotions, the essence of what drives you on a deeper level. This ancient Kemetic wisdom is not just old philosophy. It's a detailed map of your multidimensional self, illustrating that we are more than just flesh and bones. We are more than just a body and mind. You are a soul with incredible complexity, with aspects that go beyond what most people are even aware of. The Aztecs had their own take on this complexity. They believed in multiple souls, with one called the Yolia, a divine fire that survived death and journeyed into the afterlife. This idea of different soul aspects isn't just an isolated belief. It shows up across cultures around the world, each adding a unique perspective to the complex nature of who we are. Greek philosopher Plato also talked about the soul, breaking it down into reason, spirit, and appetite. These weren't separate entities but interconnected parts of a unified whole, each contributing to the functioning of the human experience. In Taoism, the Hun and Po represent the heavenly and earthly aspects of the soul. Hun is linked to Yang energy, moving on after death, while Po, connected to Yin energy, stays with the body. Even in Norse tradition, there are multiple soul aspects, like the Hamingja, which represents luck or a guardian spirit, and the Filja, a personal spirit guide. These traditions, from different times and places, all point to the same understanding. We are far more than we think. We are rich, multidimensional beings. Think about your dreams. In your dreams, you can be the one experiencing everything, while also somehow watching it all unfold. You are the creator and the observer at the same time. This is just a glimpse into your true multidimensional nature. Kabbalah speaks of Neshama, the highest level of the soul, which is directly connected to the divine. This part of you is always in touch with universal consciousness. In Sufism, there's the Ruh, an immortal spirit described as a ray of divine light that continues to exist before and after your physical life. You are not just a body or a mind, or even a single soul. You are a multidimensional being, filled with light, energy, and consciousness that spans multiple realms of existence. So, how do you live with this understanding? How do you go through daily life while knowing that you are so much more than just a human body? First, remember that your body is just a tool, a way for you to interact with the physical world. Care for it, respect it, but don't mistake it for who you